and they were going to win. So, for the first time in a long time, Fee Collier actually kind of cooked Angel Reese.
Angel Reese stepped onto the court, only to face reality's harsh blow. In her first preseason game, the Lynx delivered a crushing loss, leaving her ice cold. Shots missed, defenses closed in, and amid the chaos, Angel's confidence seemed to shrink. Was it nerves, or did the WNBA send a message? Welcome, rookie, sit down. It's not the debut she envisioned, but it's one we can't look away from. So, what went wrong? Let's break it down.
Good. You know what I love watching? I love watching her highlights of missing shots. She's got to be the worst shooter you've met in your...
It's officially chaos in Chicago, at least among the Angel Reese's The Future fans. After 2 preseason games that resembled awkward high school tryouts more than a confident WNBA rookie debut, Angel Reese might want to see if her crown is still intact. While Caitlyn Clark effortlessly breaks ankles and sinks logo threes like it's no big deal, Reese is struggling just to find the rim without fouling or losing rebounds to Camila Cardoso. Spoiler alert, she's falling short on both fronts. The spotlight is shining brightly, and Reese has some work to do if she wants to live up to the hype.
It is Chicago Sky versus Minnesota last night, and I understand that it is the last preseason game, but boy, how they tried to pad them stats for Angel Reese, because she had bad stats going to the fourth quarter.
Let's be honest. Angel Reese's preseason showing was frankly underwhelming. She managed just 10 points against the Lynx, shooting only 2 for 8 from the field. That's 2 baskets in 25 minutes, roughly 1 every 12.5 minutes on the court. If she keeps up that pace, someone better start handing out juice boxes for participation, because this isn't the dominant presence fans expected. She also grabbed only 3 rebounds, which might be acceptable for a guard, but for a player billed as a paint enforcer, it's disappointing. Especially when she was out-rebounded by her own teammate, who's new to the team. That's definitely an awkward sign of struggles to come.
So we got to talk about Angel Reese missing out on these press conferences all the time. What is this really about? Here's a girl, right, who loves to be in everybody's face, loves to be on front center, right? Always on TikTok, always on Instagram, always on YouTube with her podcast, but never during press conferences before a game or after a game or during practice for real. You rarely ever hear from Angel Reese. And my question is why? Why don't you like to talk basketball, Angel? Is it because you miss so many layups, you're so bad at basketball for real?
Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark is cruising through her preseason with confidence. In her debut, she played like she believed it was the finals. She dished out assists, sank deep threes, and sprinted up and down the court with ease. Her Indiana Fever team racked up 108 points in a game that finished faster than Angel Reese could pick up her 4th foul. Clark was running the offense with the poise of a seasoned veteran, showcasing her playmaking skills. Meanwhile, Reese was still trying to figure out her role, caught between being an off-ball decoy and an energetic cheerleader, struggling to make a noticeable impact early on.
Wait a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for elevating the WNBA dump. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for taking the dump and turning it into an unmonetizable turd. Now, to her credit, it is a nicely polished turd. It almost looks appealing. Almost. Of course, it's still not appealing enough to generate profit, but I guess the WNBA is taking baby steps. I mean, what's one more year of multi-million-dollar losses? I thought Angel Reese was the star of stars, the icon of icons. That's what the mainstream media keeps telling me. Headline at Forbes from last month. How Angel Reese and Asia Wilson are leading the WNBA's growth.
But here's the surprise. Camila Cardoso, the other rookie on the sky. Unlike Reese, who's busy in Reebok ads and podcasts, Cardoso is quietly making her mark. She's stepping into the power forward role with ease, scoring 13 points and grabbing 9 rebounds. She's displaying that, "Excuse me, Angel, I'll take that board" attitude, snatching rebounds that Reese used to dominate. Cardoso is effectively taking over the glass, doing the heavy lifting and proving she's ready to contribute on both ends. Meanwhile, Reese finds herself in the background, watching as Cardoso does the rebounding and gritty work, leaving Reese with the leftovers and, perhaps, the check.
Angel Reese is smooth 6'3". And jump like that, grab him, rim, and dunk him. Let's be honest, that's bounce for a girl. That's bounce. Now, some of y'all are probably wondering why I said she could dunk. I mean, obviously, Shorty can't dunk now. We see the game, she barely get off the ground. She getting like an inch off the ground. Anyway, the reason for that is she had a big injury in her leg a long time ago. Now she has a metal rod in her leg. Takes away mobility. Way less agile. So that's why we see her play the way she does. Way less athletic. But that's the reason. But I said I would say something important at the end of the video. So, now that we have all that in mind, the injury, the metal rod, less mobility, less agility. Now that we have all the information, here's the important part. She still should be making them layups, gang.
Let's break it down. Caitlyn Clark is entering the WNBA regular season like she's been here forever, lighting up scoreboards, dishing out assists, and making defenders question their career choices. She's playing with confidence, as if she owns the court, and her preseason performance suggests she's ready to carry her team. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is stuck trying to figure out how to improve her shooting percentage, which currently hovers around 25%, all while the crowd groans every time she touches the ball. To make matters worse, the league scheduled the Sky's season opener against Clark's Indiana Fever, a matchup fans have been eager to see. It's supposed to be the showdown of the year, a heavyweight bout. But right now, it feels more like one side has been training with a punching bag, while the other's just been punching at air. The anticipated rivalry between Clark and Reese is turning into a one-woman show, with Clark doing everything except selling popcorn during timeouts. Reese's performance has become almost comedic, missing easy shots, letting her defender stroll into the paint, and looking utterly baffled when Cardoso snags rebounds she thought were hers. It's a stark contrast that highlights how far Reese still has to go to find her footing at this level.
You wonder why you have the least amount of fans showing up in attendance at your games. That all has something to do with it. You're not relatable. You're not likable. People only hear from you when you showing half off, your body, or you're showing off what you're wearing, right? Trying to make a fashion statement. You're showing off your new weave. It's so unbelievable. You're showing off your new lashes, right? But you don't talk basketball never.
This isn't just bad. It's starting to feel personal. Reese has to be feeling the pressure. Imagine hyping yourself as the future face of the league, only to have your own teammate show you what true paint dominance looks like. Cardoso is effortlessly taking those cherry-picked layups Reese used to feast on in college, turning them into routine, everyday shots. But this isn't LSU anymore, and the WNBA doesn't hand out participation trophies. Cardoso's hustle, positioning, and efficiency are all shouting, "You may have the followers, but I've got the fundamentals." And Reese knows it. She's watching Caitlyn Clark become the league's most talked-about player overnight. Meanwhile, Cardoso is establishing herself as the Sky's inside anchor. Stuck in the middle, Reese is too inefficient to be the primary scorer, not dominant enough on the boards, and way too visible to hide on the bench. But hey, it's only preseason, right? Sure, except now the real games are about to begin. Reese's stat line is starting to look more like an awkward footnote than a promising rookie resume. And we haven't even seen what happens when Caitlyn starts torching the Sky's defense with one-legged fadeaways, while Reese gets benched after picking up 2 quick fouls in the first 5 minutes. The pressure is mounting, and the spotlight isn't exactly shining in her favor.
According to Forbes, Angel Reese is arguably the biggest star in the WNBA because she has more social media followers than everyone else. But like I say all the time, popularity on social media, that does not equate to the mainstream.
Saturday's game promises to be a major reality check. Caitlyn Clark is ready to run a clinic, while Angel Reese steps onto the court with a chip on her shoulder the size of a press conference. But it's not the good kind of chip. More like a sign of overcompensation, like she's trying to prove something because things aren't going her way. It's almost poetic how this rivalry, built on college hype, magazine covers, and Instagram stories, is now being settled on the actual court through spacing, pick-and-roll switches, and, most importantly, making shots. Caitlyn's transition into the WNBA has been as smooth as a well-rehearsed piano recital. Angel's, on the other hand, has been more like someone tripping over the bench while trying to tie their shoes. Let's not forget, this isn't just rookie jitters. Reese has played 2 full games now. Ample time to realize that dominating over 6'4" freshmen in college isn't quite the same as facing seasoned WNBA veterans who know exactly how to exploit your weaknesses. And if she thought she had some breathing room before, Cardoso just locked that door and threw away the key. Every minute Cardoso outperforms Reese is a minute Reese loses in the rotation. In the WNBA, that's how narratives can flip in an instant, and Reese's grip on her position is more fragile than ever. The pressure is mounting, and the spotlight is shining brighter than ever on what's next for both players.
Folks, the Chicago Sky Game 1 of the preseason was underway last night. Angel Reese looked pretty good, but we're going to get into that momentarily. On the negative side, Angel Reese fans, LSU fans, all of you who tell us, oh my God, what a big superstar.
You have to wonder what the team is thinking right now. The marketing team is probably still sharing glamorous photos of Reese in sky blue, but the coaching staff? They're likely convening late into the night, discussing, so, about the starting lineup. Reese is going to need a miracle on Saturday. She has to step up and remind everyone why she was the biggest name in women's college basketball last year. But if her preseason performances are any indication, Caitlyn Clark might not just outplay her, she could outright embarrass her. The one thing Clark has that Reese currently lacks is consistency. Caitlyn brings her A-game every night, delivering night after night. Angel? She's been inconsistent, showing flashes of brilliance, missing layups, and grabbing a few rebounds if Cardoso is feeling generous. This isn't the preseason anymore. The stage is set. The lights are bright. And Angel Reese? She'd better remember her game plan, or Caitlyn might turn this into a one-woman show, leaving Reese in the dust. The pressure is mounting, and the spotlight is shining fiercely, demanding perfection from both stars.
Season, can we know how you felt about your play out there? You're 2 for 8. Can we know how you feel about your new role, supposedly being a point forward? Ain't no damn point forward. A point forward is a person that actually create shots for others, easy buckets for others. That's what a point guard. Caitlyn Clark don't just pass the ball down to Leah Boston and she turn around and make a layup and get an assist. She don't just get those kind of assists where she really didn't have nothing to do with getting Camila Cardoso or one of her players an easy basket. She not getting nobody no easy baskets. It's all off the execution of the play. Whether somebody cut back door and she make a good pass. She can make good passes, but a point forward is somebody who actually orchestrates the offense.
And if you thought Angel Reese's storyline couldn't get any more chaotic, just wait until tip-off on Saturday. This isn't just a game, it's an audition. Not for a shoe deal, not for Instagram fame, but for real on-court credibility. And right now, Reese is stepping into that spotlight with 2 off-key notes, a broken mic, and the stage presence of someone who just realized the spotlight shines brightest when you haven't prepared. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark is already the WNBA's main event, before she's even played a single professional game. She enters arenas like she owns the building, and for good reason. Her basketball IQ? Through the roof. Her passes? Laser-guided missiles. Her shot selection? A blend of calculated chaos that somehow always finds the net. Even in the preseason, she was torching defenders like she was auditioning for the Harlem Globetrotters, armed with a master's in applied humiliation. And the best part? She's doing it all with a smile, as if she knows she just made your favorite player look like a traffic cone. That brings us back to Reese, whose defensive stance so far has been more lost in the woods than locked in, leaving her wondering, where am I supposed to be again?
So I think it's time to finally, end the argument. End the argument that there is any sort of, other needle mover that is even remotely close to Caitlyn Clark in the WNBA. And again, the reason why we've got Hailey Van Lith up is because it was Hailey Van Lith's return as well as Angel Reese's return. Angel was not the only person. They had two players returning. However, right now in Carver, there are no tickets left for under $200.
Let's talk about body language. Reese's in-game energy has shifted from confident queen to confused mall walker in no time. She's throwing side eyes at teammates, looking drained halfway through the second quarter, and overall vibing like someone who was forced into a pickup game against their will. Meanwhile, Cardoso is out here effortlessly grabbing rebounds as if it's her birthright, making putbacks look like simple layup drills. It's clear things aren't going well when fans are already whispering about rotational shakeups before the season has even officially started. The media? They're circling like sharks at a buffet, ready to pounce on any slip-up. The first missed free throw on Saturday, and suddenly it's breaking Angel Reese implodes, Sky coach considering starting the mascot instead. Okay, maybe that's a bit exaggerated, but you get the point. This highlights the reality of professional basketball. It doesn't care about your social media following, NIL deals, or the buzz you created in college as Bayou Barbie. None of that matters when the game clock is running. Angel is quickly realizing the hard truth. The WNBA isn't here to validate her brand. It's here to test whether she can really hoop with the best of the best.
I've tried to tell you guys, you heard me say it on this channel. A lot of Angel Reese fans are not basketball fans, and they are proving it. They proved it last night without a shadow of a doubt. That was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. You might be like, well, Rhodes, what was so embarrassing?
To be fair, no one expected Angel Reese to be a 20-point-per-game superstar right from the start. But nobody thought she'd be outperformed by her own teammate either. Cardoso, often seen as the secondary option, has quietly become the most reliable and consistent force in the front court. And as the saying goes, you lose your starting spot the same way you lose your Wi-Fi. Slowly at first, then all at once. Reese needs a redemption arc, and she needs it quickly. Because Caitlyn Clark? She doesn't just show up to play, she arrives with the intention of making a statement. And there's no bigger statement than dominating your biggest rival on national television during the very first regular season game. If Clark drops 25 points and Reese continues to struggle, finishing 2 for 8 from the field, racking up fouls, and shrugging at refs, the social media backlash will be fierce. Fans and analysts alike will be quick to pounce, and ESPN will have highlight reels ready before the final buzzer, complete with dramatic music and side-by-side comparisons that will make Reese wish she'd stayed in college. The pressure is mounting, and everyone is watching closely. This isn't just Caitlyn versus Angel anymore. It's a battle of hype versus substance. One player is already demonstrating she has the skills and confidence to handle the spotlight, while the other is still trying to figure out how not to foul out by halftime. The next few games will be crucial in defining their legacies.
Blink of an eye. People keep telling us there are other people in the WNBA who have made it matter. People keep telling us there are other players who are so very, very loved. There are other players who are so very, very marketable and marketed and watched and all that great stuff.
Let's not forget, Angel Reese is no stranger to pressure. She's competed in championship games, faced criticism, and has often been in the spotlight. But this isn't just about dealing with haters anymore. It's about proving she belongs, showing that her style of play, her attitude, and her presence can translate to success at the professional level. If she doesn't, she risks becoming a cautionary tale, while Caitlyn Clark's star continues to rise as the league's face. Things get even more intense if Reese struggles against Clark. Her rookie season could quickly turn into a battle for survival. The whispers will morph into debates, hot takes, and trade rumors. Though it's early, the WNBA is highly competitive, and rookies don't get endless opportunities, especially when her teammate is seemingly stealing her starting role right before her eyes. The stakes are high, and the pressure to perform is relentless, making every game a critical moment for Reese to prove her worth.
Twitter fingers turn to can't even show up and buy ticket fingers. Angel Reese, going home to her alma mater, LSU, plays against the Brazilian national team in front of 6,373.
Reese needs Saturday to be her statement game. Not a decent performance, not a she tried her best, but a true reintroduction, something that says, I'm not just a TikTok highlight from 2023, I'm here to dominate. If she doesn't step up, Caitlyn Clark will show up, casually drop 30 points, and leave with Reese's narrative packaged and stored for the archives. There's still time for Angel to bounce back, become aggressive, focused, and determined. But the clock is ticking. If Reese isn't careful, Clark won't just steal the spotlight. She'll rewrite the story, leaving Reese reading lines from the bench. The upcoming game is her chance to make a statement, to remind everyone why she's a force to be reckoned with. Otherwise, the narrative will be all about Clark's dominance and Reese's struggles. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.